Okay, so to begin, we are living in the modern era of the 21st century where gadgets and technology. But should we even use those gadgets and technology in our education system to comply with the 21st century? That is a good question. And may I ask my partner to do the honors?
Yes, it is true that we are living in a modern era, an era filled with modernization, filled with technology. And it's true, technology can be used in the 21st century in educational purposes. But at the same time, I strongly believe that we need to balance it out. We could use technology to teach the students about a particular subject, but at the same time, we need to balance it out with practical uses. For example, taking them out for any type of practical uses. So using technology is great, but at the same time, I really strongly feel that we should balance it out. Never let the students be the slaves of technology. Always use technology as something that we could benefit from, but you don't see technology as God itself. So what do you think?
Well, I totally agree with your point, and I think that we should not take technology as a god itself, because we are the ones who have created technology. We should not let technology dominate us. And because of we know the pros and cons of technology and what it brings to humankind. So I think that the best way to conduct this is to maybe set up a timetable so that we can better manage our time with technology and the other parts of our lives so that we make the best use of our technology. And speaking of technology, I'm sure that there are other ways to better use this technology in our education system. So one of the ways that this technology and gadgets can be implemented in our education is through those programs or applications such as the Frog VLE, which promotes virtual learning in a great environment in schools, which involves the teachers and the students. So what do you think about the technology and advancement of Frog VLE?
I think the advancements of Frog VLE is phenomenal. The fact that you can actually send homeworks to your students without having to be in front of them, it's great, especially for the teachers, because you don't have to make the effort of actually seeing the student. But the fact that you can actually use technology to learn something, I really think that that is amazing. But at the same time, I really need to say that right now, most of the time, teenagers tend to misuse technology. So to use technology or gadgets, any type of gadgets, fully on education, like I said earlier, is something that we need to prevent, because actually fully using technology can actually suck out the life of technology, because the life of teenagers. Teenagers need to know what it's like to feel, what it's like to love, what it's like to feel passion. But if you use technology just to teach them every single thing, they wouldn't really know what it's like to be out in the world. And when they actually do graduate, just imagine, they were just being alive and they were just taught to interact with technology, interact with gadgets, using applications. But when they come in contact with real human beings, it might be a big problem because they don't know how to interact with humans. Because humans are not technology. We think, we do things based on our emotions, based on our thoughts. So technology doesn't have emotions. Gadgets don't have emotions. So we really need to balance it out. Now, I have a question for you, Jackie. How do you balance technology and real session of learning in real life, in terms of real life?
Well, if you ask me, the way how I balance technology and real learning in life is just like what I said, just to set up a timetable. And besides that, you need to have a strict regimen on how you plan your time so that you do not go overboard on one side or the other. And besides that, I do think that it is also equally important that we integrate them both so that they occur simultaneously. And we should not just rely on technology for teaching a specific aspect and just rely on the traditional ways of teaching in another aspect. But we should integrate them into both, because we are living in the 21st century and we should be more open-minded. Like, we should not think that, yes, technology has its pros and its cons, but we should think that, yes, we can fully use and utilize the pros to make our learning environment a better and more cohesive environment. And I do think that this is possible if each and every individual knows the limits to technology and knows self-control. So what do you think?
I highly and I strongly agree with Jackie's opinion. It's true. We can't turn back time. We can't go back to how things were back then, because we as humans need to progress and we need to find new ways to achieve success. And by utilizing the pros of technology, I really believe that we can make students even more better. We can produce students who are really knowledgeable. So it's just that there's something inside me that tells technology can be really dangerous towards teenagers. One of the reasons is because there are so many misleading usage of technology. For example, spreading fake news or spreading fake knowledge. These can lead teenagers to believing into fake passion, and they could give them the fake ideas of what life really is. Now, how do you think that we can prevent students from getting or swallowing up all of these fake informations?
Well, now you ask me, I do have a few solutions to this problem. Like for the example, the most prime solution would be for the parents to better educate their students or their own children to be more aware, to be more conscious of what they see on the web and when they use those gadgets and technology. Because we know that the world is very wide. It has all the types of people that you and I, we're not the same. We may think differently, and the interpretations that we have on the topic or subject matter may be different from what others think. And so the parents, they really play a great role in educating their children on how to think correctly and how to differentiate between the wheat and the chaff, the goat and the cows.
I really do agree on Jackie. I'm just going to add on a little bit to the solution. Other than parents, teachers do play a big role on preventing this particular mishap from happening, because we can teach them the differences between the pros and cons. We can know how people lie, and we can know through their messages, we can know through their texts, we can know through how they convey their message. I mean, for example, if I were to tell you a lie right now, I'm saying that I'm a girl. Would you believe that? I am a guy that doesn't have long hair, and you could just look at my face. I am not a girl. Something that no one would believe. So I think teachers do play a big role. It's like we all know that when students or children leave their home and go to school, teachers are the ones that are going to be their mother or father based on the time period of their school. So teachers do play a big role on preventing this particular mishap from happening, because technology is something that's vast and wide, and technology can be used in both beneficially or badly. It can go to both places. So using technology, teachers should always teach their students to always utilize technology to the fullest and use it beneficially as possibly can. So what do you think about that?
Well, yes, I do agree to what you have to say, but I do say that the government does also play a big role in educating the students on the proper usage of those gadgets and technologies. For example, the government should organize campaigns to raise awareness on the proper ways of using technologies and gadgets. Like they could also organize some seminars in schools to better educate the students on the ways and the dangers of the deep web, which is the internet that we all use today and until the time that continues. So what do you think? Besides the government, what are the other agencies or non-government organizations that play a part in promoting the proper use of gadgets and technology?
Now, apart from the government agency, I think for Muslims in particular, we could, the people in the mosque or the staff members in the mosque could make an awareness camp to tell the Muslims in particular, no offense, the Muslims in particular to not let technology lead them astray, because in Islam, we cannot misuse anything. Everything needs to have their limits. Getting something over in anything at all, can lead you to destroy yourself. It can actually destroy oneself. So I think apart from governmental agencies, the staff members in the mosque, for example, can make a campus or an awareness camp to make the Muslims in particular, to make them aware of the dangers of gadgets. And yeah, what do you think about that?
Well, I think that's a good idea, but I do have one question to ask you, because from now I've heard a lot of rumors about the ideas or the idealism of limiting the access we have to all those information through our gadgets and technologies to better protect our current generation and the next generation from the so-called pollution, which is all those bad things that are strewn around on the internet. So what do you think? Is it important that we limit the freedom that we have over our gadgets and technologies to better control this problem of those bad influences before it goes out of hand?
Now, when we're talking about limitations, when we're talking about limiting one's freedom, I'm sorry, but I have to disagree with that, because I don't think any agency should limit the use of internet and limit anyone's use of the internet. Because, for example, us, we like it when someone limits us to do anything. We want to do something, but someone just tells you not to do that. You can't do that. Now, I think it all boils down to the person. Now, it's true that we can't limit one's freedom, but we can educate them to choose the right path, to know between the wrong and the right, to choose what is better for them, to not misuse anything. So I think it's not really about limiting one's freedom. I think it's about educating them, teaching them what is the meaning to be good. How can you use anything? And it doesn't just go for gadgets. It goes for everything in life. How can you fully utilize that particular thing to your benefit, and at the same time utilize something for other people's benefit?
Yes, you do have your point, but I must say that I do really think that there should be some limitations on the access that we get on our gadgets and technology, especially when we're talking about education, because the true purpose or motive of education is to teach our students so that they foster into great individuals that will lead our country into the great era of transformation 2050. But if there is really no limitations to what we have access to gadgets and technologies, yes, you may say that we can educate them on the proper ways and how to differentiate the wheat from the chaff, but do you really think that we can do this on a large scale by looking at the totality of the situation? Do you really think that it is effective to leave things on their own without placing any restrictions or any chains on them?
Now, it's true that it's a big risk to leave them be, to let them have their freedom. But like I said, do you like it when someone puts a cage on you, like you're being stuck in a cage? It's something that nobody likes to be in. It's a situation where nobody likes to be in. Now, I strongly believe that if we thoroughly educate our students, thoroughly educate the younger generation to not misuse anything, to use everything for the right purpose, for their own benefit, for everyone's benefit, I am sure, positive, 100% sure that Malaysia's future will be secured.
Okay,